Hello, my friend. Let me tell you a story that might sound familiar. After 52 years of marriage, Harold found himself sitting alone at the kitchen table. The house was quiet, too quiet. The same kitchen where he once shared morning coffee and laughter with his wife now echoed with silence. His children had moved out years ago, and while they called from time to time, the days in between felt endless. He wasn't in pain, not physically. But something deeper hurt, something he couldn't quite name. That something was loneliness. And Harold's story isn't rare. For many older adults, especially those who've lost a spouse, outlived close friends, or live far from family, growing older means facing long stretches of solitude. It's not just about being alone, it's about waking up without a reason to get out of bed, eating meals in silence, and going entire days without hearing your own voice in conversation. The world doesn't feel like it's moving around you anymore. It feels like it's moving on without you. But here's what I want to tell you: being old and alone does not mean your story is over. In fact, this chapter of your life still holds meaning, beauty, and joy, if you know where to find it. And it starts with small, powerful choices you can make each day. In this video, I'll walk you through 6 daily habits that can transform the experience of aging alone into one of peace, connection, and quiet purpose. These habits aren't difficult, and they don't require anyone else's permission. You already have everything you need within you to begin. So stay with me. Because while loneliness may feel heavy right now, I promise, there's a light waiting to return. Let's take the first step together. Let's take a closer look at why being alone in old age can feel so heavy, and how small daily actions can turn that weight into something lighter and more meaningful. From a scientific perspective, loneliness isn't just an emotional state. It has real, measurable effects on both the body and mind. Research from institutions like Harvard Medical School and the National Institute on Aging has shown that chronic loneliness increases levels of cortisol, the body's main stress hormone, which can lead to inflammation, high blood pressure, disrupted sleep, and a weakened immune system. Over time, these changes increase the risk of serious health conditions like heart disease, stroke, and even early mortality. One well-known study even found that long-term social isolation may be as dangerous as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Psychologically, the toll is just as profound. Seniors who experience chronic loneliness are at a significantly higher risk for depression, anxiety, and cognitive decline. The human brain is wired for connection. It thrives when we're engaged with others, challenged by new ideas, and supported by meaningful routines. Without this stimulation, the brain can start to slow down. Memory lapses become more frequent. Decision-making becomes harder. Even basic motivation to get up and move can start to fade. But here's the hopeful truth: this decline isn't inevitable. Just as loneliness can lead the brain and body to shut down, meaningful daily habits can do the exact opposite. Movement, even gentle movement, improves circulation, strengthens muscles, and increases oxygen flow to the brain. Social engagement, even in small doses, triggers the release of oxytocin and dopamine, chemicals that lift mood and help you feel more connected. Practicing gratitude has been shown to lower anxiety and improve sleep. Helping others creates a deep sense of purpose, which is one of the most powerful emotional protections against despair. These are not magic pills or complicated therapies. They're simple, everyday actions that work, especially when done consistently. They bring structure to the day, help regulate emotions, and most importantly, remind you that your life still holds value. And there's something else we need to recognize. Being alone is not the same as being lonely. Some people live alone and find peace, joy, and deep fulfillment in their solitude. Others may be surrounded by people and yet feel invisible or emotionally disconnected. The difference lies in your sense of connection, not just to other people, but to yourself, your values, your daily rhythm, and the activities that bring you meaning. That's why the 6 habits we're going to explore aren't about distracting you from your solitude. They're about deepening your experience of life, helping you feel grounded, purposeful, and fully alive. These habits reconnect you to the world around you, to your body, and to your spirit. Think of your life as a garden. If it's neglected, weeds of sadness, boredom, and apathy begin to grow. But if you tend to it with small, daily acts of care, it begins to bloom again, often in the most unexpected ways. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need to start where you are. So let's begin. The first habit may seem simple, but it holds the key to turning empty days into meaningful ones. Let's talk about the life-changing power of having a daily routine. 6 daily habits to stay happy when you're old and alone. 1. Establish a daily routine. One of the biggest emotional challenges of aging alone is waking up and feeling like the day has no direction. Without a job to go to, children to care for, or a spouse to share breakfast with, the hours can blur together into a gray fog of sameness. But there is a powerful remedy for that feeling: a well-structured daily routine. A routine gives your day rhythm. It tells your body and mind, you have something to do. You have a reason to rise. And that reason doesn't need to be grand. It could be as simple as making your bed, enjoying a hot cup of tea, reading the newspaper, or walking around the block. These small rituals bring predictability, and with it, a sense of comfort and control. Take Robert, a 76-year-old widower who found himself drifting after his wife passed away. Days became unrecognizable. He'd sleep at odd hours, skip meals, and spend hours watching TV. But once he began writing out a daily schedule, even just basic things like breakfast at 8, stretching at 9, calling a friend at 3, he felt a shift. His mind became clearer. He looked forward to simple tasks. His days gained color again. The key isn't to overcomplicate it. Create a routine that fits your pace and includes things you enjoy. Morning sunlight, meaningful meals, quiet evenings, these moments can anchor you in peace. In the absence of external structure, your own routine becomes the scaffolding for a joyful, balanced life. 2. Prioritize physical movement. When you're living alone, it's easy to slow down, sometimes too much. But staying physically active is one of the best things you can do for both your body and your mood. Movement helps your joints stay flexible, your muscles stay strong, and your heart stay healthy. More importantly, it keeps you independent and confident. You don't need to run marathons or join a gym. Just a few minutes a day can make a huge difference. A walk around your neighborhood, gentle stretching in the living room, or simply standing up and sitting down a few extra times can improve circulation and keep you mobile. Take Ella Lehner, a 78-year-old retired librarian. After retirement, she spent more time in her chair and less on her feet. It wasn't until she started struggling to bend down or walk long distances that she realized she needed to move more. She joined a local walking group, added a few morning stretches, and within weeks, noticed better energy, improved posture, and even deeper sleep. Movement also protects your brain. Studies show that regular physical activity can slow cognitive decline and reduce the risk of dementia. When you move your body, you stimulate your brain, reduce stress, and lift your spirits. The goal isn't perfection, it's consistency. Choose activities that feel good and make them part of your daily rhythm. Movement, no matter how small, reminds you that you're alive, capable, and still in control of your well-being. 3. Stay socially engaged. Perhaps one of the most painful aspects of aging alone is the quiet that settles in, not just in your home, but in your life. The phone rings less. Friends grow older or move away. Children become busy with their own families. And slowly, days can pass without a single meaningful conversation. But social connection isn't a luxury, it's a lifeline. Human beings are wired for connection. Whether it's a deep conversation or a simple smile exchanged with a neighbor, social interaction nourishes our emotional well-being. Studies show that consistent social engagement reduces the risk of depression, lowers blood pressure, and even increases lifespan. Take Frank, an 80-year-old widower who spent months watching TV in silence, convinced that no one had time for him anymore. But then he took a small, brave step. He called an old friend. That one call led to another. Eventually, he joined a local chess club online and found joy in weekly conversations with people he hadn't even met in person. His world expanded again, not physically, but emotionally. You don't need a big social circle. What matters is consistency. A weekly call. A morning coffee with a neighbor. Sending a friendly email. Even short moments of connection, done daily, remind you that you're still part of the world. And if you don't know where to start, start small. Say hello at the store. Join an online interest group. Reach out before waiting for someone to reach out to you. Because connection, like joy, often begins with a single, intentional step. 4. Keep your mind stimulated. As the body ages, it's easy to assume the mind must slow down too. But that isn't true. The brain, like any other part of the body, stays strong when it's used, challenged, exercised, and fed with curiosity. When we stop stimulating our minds, we start feeling dull, disengaged, and even depressed. But the reverse is also true. Mental activity can bring surprising energy and joy. Mental stimulation doesn't have to mean studying advanced math or reading thick novels. It can be as simple as reading a new article, doing a crossword puzzle, learning a few words in another language, or playing a memory game. What matters most is variety and genuine interest. Janet, a 74-year-old former teacher, found herself forgetting small things, keys, grocery lists, names. She felt embarrassed and started doubting her sharpness. Instead of giving in to fear, she started reading again, picked up her old crossword habit, and even enrolled in an online Spanish class. Within weeks, she felt brighter, more alert, and excited again about learning. Stimulating your mind also wards off cognitive decline and keeps your mood lifted. It adds color and challenge to the day, something to look forward to. And it gives you something new to share in conversations, keeping you connected and interesting to others. So don't underestimate your brain. It's still alive, still growing, and still full of potential. Give it something to chew on every day, and you may be surprised at how energized you begin to feel, inside and out. 5. Practice gratitude and reflection. As we age, it's natural to think about what we've lost: people, opportunities, physical strength. But if we dwell there too long, sorrow and regret can take root. That's why practicing gratitude and daily reflection is so powerful. It doesn't ignore the pain. It gently shifts our focus toward what still remains, what still brings light into our lives, however small. Gratitude is a choice. And when practiced consistently, it rewires the brain to notice joy, even in the quiet moments. Studies show that people who regularly reflect on what they're thankful for experience better sleep, lower levels of depression, and stronger emotional resilience. George, a 79-year-old retired firefighter, spent months after his wife's passing reliving old memories, unable to see past the grief. A friend suggested he try keeping a gratitude journal. Skeptical at first, George gave it a shot. Each morning, he wrote down 3 things: his morning coffee, the song of birds outside his window, the memory of a family trip. Over time, his mindset began to shift. He still missed his wife deeply, but he also started seeing the beauty in his present moments. Reflection works hand in hand with gratitude. A few minutes of quiet breathing, sitting outdoors, or praying can bring calm and clarity. It's not about solving everything. It's about pausing long enough to truly feel your life, the good, the hard, and the meaningful. Begin with just one moment of gratitude each day. It might seem small, but over time, it becomes a lifeline to peace. 6. Help others daily. When you're living alone, it's easy to feel like you're no longer needed. That the best years of your usefulness are behind you. But here's the truth: your wisdom, your kindness, your presence still matter deeply. And one of the quickest ways to rediscover purpose is to help someone else. Giving doesn't have to mean volunteering full-time or donating large amounts of money. It can be as simple as checking in on a neighbor, offering advice to a younger person, or sharing a kind word with someone having a bad day. The act of helping pulls your focus away from what you've lost and shifts it toward what you can still give. Margaret, an 82-year-old former nurse, found herself feeling invisible after retirement. Her kids were grown, and her days felt hollow. Then she began volunteering once a week at a local food pantry. It started small, stacking shelves, greeting visitors, but it grew into friendships, laughter, and a new sense of belonging. She wasn't just passing time. She was making a difference. Helping others keeps the heart full and the spirit alive. And even if mobility is limited, there are still ways to give: write a letter, make a phone call, mentor someone online. You don't need to leave your home to touch someone's life. The truth is, we never outgrow the need to feel useful. And when you give, even just a little, you receive much more in return: meaning, connection, and a renewed sense of who you are. Let's pause for a moment, just you and me, and think about everything we've just covered. If you're watching this and you've been feeling the weight of being alone, truly alone, you are not the only one. Many people, after a lifetime of raising families, working hard, and caring for others, suddenly find themselves surrounded by silence. The phone rings less. The house feels larger than it used to. And the world outside keeps moving faster while your days grow slower. It's easy in these moments to believe the best parts of life have already passed. But that isn't the truth. What we've explored today, the 6 daily habits, aren't just suggestions. They're tools. Tools that can help you build a life that feels whole, even without a partner by your side or a bustling house full of people. These habits are how you bring structure back into your day, how you invite joy into ordinary moments, and how you remind yourself that you still matter. Because you do. You matter, not just for what you've done in the past, but for what you still offer now. Your presence still carries warmth. Your words still carry wisdom. And your story is still unfolding, even in this quieter season of life. Yes, it's true that aging comes with change. But change doesn't have to mean loss of purpose. In fact, this stage of life can bring clarity, a deeper understanding of who you are, what truly brings you peace, and how to live on your own terms. Many people discover, often for the first time, what it really means to take care of themselves emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And you don't have to do everything at once. Maybe you begin by writing down 3 things you're grateful for each morning. Or you take a 10-minute walk after breakfast. Or you call someone you've lost touch with. Each small act is a declaration: I choose to be present in my life. Even if your days are quiet, your heart doesn't have to be. Solitude can be sacred. It can be the space where you heal, grow, and find your center again. These habits help you fill your days with light, your light, not borrowed from anyone else, but fully your own. So if you're sitting there wondering whether any of this truly matters, let me say this from my heart to yours: it does. You are not invisible. You are not finished. And your days still hold beauty, meaning, and hope. Let's not just grow older. Let's grow deeper, fuller, and more connected, to ourselves, to others, and to the life still waiting to be lived. My friend, if there's one truth I hope you carry with you from this video, it's this: you are never too old, too alone, or too late to start living with intention again. You might not be able to change the fact that you live alone. You might not control who calls, who visits, or how fast the world around you moves. But you can control the way you show up for yourself, every single day. And that is where your power lies. You don't need to completely overhaul your life. You don't need to be busy from morning to night. All you need to do is choose one small habit to begin with. Maybe that's writing a gratitude list before breakfast. Maybe it's putting your shoes on and stepping outside for 5 minutes. Maybe it's calling someone you haven't spoken to in a while. Whatever it is, start there, and watch what begins to shift. Because once you begin showing up for your own well-being, the loneliness begins to loosen its grip. You begin to notice the warmth of sunlight again, the taste of a good meal, the value of your own thoughts. You begin to reconnect, not just to the world, but to yourself. If this message resonated with you, I encourage you to leave a comment below. Tell us, which of the 6 habits will you try first? Your voice matters. And when you share, you never know who else you might encourage in the process. And if you found comfort or inspiration in this video, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need it. That small action helps us reach more people who are walking this same path, and reminds them they're not alone either. You still have so much to offer. Let's keep moving forward, one day, one habit, one meaningful moment at a time. Let's quickly review the 6 daily habits that can help you stay happy, healthy, and emotionally strong, even when you're growing older alone. 1. Establish a daily routine. Create structure and purpose in your day to avoid drifting into isolation or boredom. 2. Prioritize physical movement. Gentle activity keeps your body strong and your mind clear. 3. Stay socially engaged. Human connection, even in small moments, nourishes your emotional well-being. 4. Keep your mind stimulated. Mental engagement sharpens memory, reduces boredom, and renews curiosity. 5. Practice gratitude and reflection. These quiet moments help shift your mindset and bring peace into your day. 6. Help others daily. Offering kindness and support reconnects you with purpose and belonging. You don't need to do them all at once. Start with just one, and build from there. These habits are small on the outside but powerful on the inside. Aging alone doesn't mean living without meaning. You still have time, purpose, and beauty ahead. Let's choose to make the most of it, starting today.